Okay, so like the early game, this is contracts, and then Schernfire just comes in and just repeatedly just goes for it, and then you're left with just this little poor minion there for EG the rest of the game, and that was brutal.
I'm going to ask for that to be clipped and posted somewhere with the title, Proving Grounds Caster compares EG to caster minions. Let's take a look at what happened during game number 1. If you're just tuning in now, it's game number 2 time for C9 versus EG. And look, Matt, that was a little harsh. I can't believe you said that live on air. But somebody a little less cultured than you might make that comparison.
Thank you, TJ. It was just a stand-in, really. It was unfortunate that it was a minion, but it's the only Riot branded thing I have on my desk, so.
Fair point. Don't want to get in trouble. This game started real quickly as Contrax was shut down in the jungle. He just straight up didn't get to play the video game.
Yeah.
And we saw elements of what EG were trying to do. Their 2 solo lanes, Jojopian and Tony Tom, survived the early game pretty well and came into these team fights ready to go. But at that point, despite EG's good execution, the numbers were simply too far against them.
Yeah, and I feel like it would be very easy.
Dancing Rift Herald!
Yeah, Dancing Rift Herald, this is an important point. All right, nice. Does a little spin, pirouette at the end, then ends with the... Very good. I do want to point out that, like, yes, Contracts got bullied, but at a certain point, like, there's nothing you can do. You don't have particularly winning lanes across the rest of the map. The bottom lane was really just starting to bleed out slowly. All you could do as Contracts was clear the parts of the jungle you had access to because Schernfire was coming in on spawn on these Raptors and forcing Contracts off because it wasn't always just Schernfire. Sometimes someone would come up with them. Sometimes Isles would be there with them. So that was really just the story of that game.
Yeah, it was a very intentional decision by C9 to dedicate their resources to winning that jungle matchup. Let's take a look at the stats we prepared for that jungle matchup. Because we were going to talk about this before game 1. We got into the draft real quick. But Contracts has been one of the best performing junglers in Academy, period. On a team that struggled throughout the entire first half of the Academy season. You know, a month ago, this EG roster was in 10th place and really struggling, and the only thing that looked good was Contracts. Now, the rest of his team has caught up. This is a different team now. They are terrifying. They are great. And Contracts has continued to be the leading part of that as the shot caller, as the veteran voice on this team. Except for this last game, where Schernfire was maybe looking at this stat sheet and he said, hey, what if I didn't have to play this matchup? What if we just dedicated all of our resources? I see he's drafted Nocturne to making sure that Contracts didn't get to farm his first 6 levels.
Yeah, and I think the important point to bring out here is that these are 2 very similar junglers to the point where you can guarantee that if you can cripple one of them out of the game, like Schernfire did to Contracts, that puts their team behind, guaranteed. A lot of times Schernfire will focus towards that top lane, get Darshan ahead. This game, it was the Schernfire show. From minute 1, they decided their game plan was bully Contracts, get Schernfire ahead. The bot lane winning, fantastic. That's just an artifact of the lane matchup and Contracts not being able to be on the field. There's no way you can win that lane matchup if you don't have a jungler. It is a very strong counter lane with that Sivir and Alistar. So with Contracts out of the game, that's just the whole game gone. So I think this game, I don't know if you ban the Lilia, but I think you definitely send a few more people to the front of that Raptors.
I think it's obvious that you can't pick the Nocturne, at least without more emphasis on being able to contend in that level 1. I think it's obvious that Schernfire and C9 have come into this series with a game plan. I think it's obvious that EG aren't going to be able to play their own game and just sit back and wait for the game to come to them. You know, this is one of the reasons why C9 are the best team in Academy by the numbers right now, because of how much they adapt to their specific opponents. They do their homework, and they come into these games ready to play. They have 3 different OPL champions on their team, and I feel like, you know, between them and Darshan, the fact that this is a team loaded with people who have a ton of competitive experience shows. They are able to make very intelligent and map-aware decisions mid-game. C9 are constantly adjusting to the game state and punishing tiny little mistakes their opponents make, bless you. I think this is a roster that can perform very, very well here. And really, EG getting slapped around in Game 1, you almost expect it because of the way C9 play. The question is, now that EG have taken a look at the C9 game plan, what happens in Game 2?
I'm interested in seeing if C9 have predicted this and just prepared a second entire game plan. It's like,
100%.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see the crazy strats.
C9 have backup plans, but I want to see them forced to go to those backup plans. I want to see EG's adaptation here. We are ready to go for the draft for Game 2. We will head right into it. It's my turn to live a little evil man.
Nice. Oh, LEC. That's the wrong region, TJ.
I got yelled at on Twitter. Some guy was like, "You're not even American," which one I am, but that's to you specifically. Anyway, ban phase, it's going to be Nocturne and Renekton. Very distinct for C9. They would not like to see that Renekton that Jojo Pyun and Tony Top can pull out. The Nocturne Rel combo is scary. I felt like they dealt with it very well, but again, this is part of the evolution. It's okay, well, if they think they have a strategy for getting contracts into the game in Game 2, let's make sure they don't have the chance to execute it. We're going to get rid of both of Contrax's characters, the one he's played during the first game of this series, and the one he's undefeated on here in Proving Grounds, the Nidalee.
Yeah, oh my god. So many jungle champs banned out, and then left up Schernfire's Lilia.
Yeah. Schernfire will just play the Lilia, it doesn't matter. EG now are going to have to stretch that jungle pool. Luckily, Contrax does play a pretty wide range of junglers, does have a little bit more flexibility here. They're going to go for one of Shoryu's favorite AD carries at the first slot here by the looks of things. This is the Tristana still on the board, so that's worth throwing up there, mentioning. I'd be interested in seeing Kai'Sa Rel if we're doing this. I would be interested in seeing Mystiques get that Rel again. It looked very good, to be honest.
Yep.
There we go.
Perfect. So what you're always looking for. I don't know what C9 are going to answer with. Last time they went for the mid support duo. I think that's fine. You know, King can play a bunch of AD carries. Maybe you want to find something into the counter lane for Rel. That Alistar would be good again. Just knock her out of her combo. Try and survive that lane. Focus elsewhere. But again, it depends on what C9's counter strategy is. We were talking about it. They know that that strategy worked last time. Do they want to change it up?
So I thought the first time around I was very convinced that King was going to be flexing the Lucian, because I had seen Copy play it, but I hadn't been that impressed, and I was, you know, really high on King being able to pull these out of meta picks. But Copy played a really good Lucian mid game, and maybe I looked at the wrong Copy Lucian mid game when I was doing my prep, but I entirely believe now, and this has the dual benefit of also banning out Jojo Pyun's pool. Jojo Pyun did still look good in that last game, but Jojo Pyun's Lucian is a thing unto itself, and that is why C9 are darn sure that they're not going to get it.
Sorry, TJ, I was distracted by being baited by EG. They were hovering the Teemo, and I'm just going to say this now. I'd buy an EG jersey if they locked it. I don't know that's worth it. I definitely think it's not. I don't know that you're allowed
to make statements like that. I don't, as a caster, it's a conflict of interest.
I'm pretty sure, you know, I know what I like in a team. I know that I like bold strategy from a team, and there's nothing bolder than picking the worst champion in the game in competitive, so.
I don't have time. Malphite will be banned out here. Darshan did put in a good word with it last time, EG. Yeah. Still concerned about winning that matchup in the top side. They do have the Gnar already for Tony Top, which he looked great on and has all season long. As we talked about, EG's top lane has been a lot of fun. I've loved seeing Tony Top transition to Academy play. He always looked good, even in Amateur. But in Academy, he has clearly benefited from EG's training system and clearly benefited from the added experience. Like, he looks very good right now.
Yeah.
This may be the fabled set mid. God, I would be so excited. There it is.
Faces are going to be smashed.
Yep.
It's locked in.
Jojo Pyun maybe getting a set mid. I hope so. I don't know where else it would go. And I'm very, very excited by this because this was something that Jojo Pyun pulled out earlier in the season, and it worked. And it's a lot of fun to watch. We are going to complete the C9 draft with a Gragas support, something Isles does quite frequently, and an Ornn in the top side for Darshan. Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
Contracts has played some Talia this season. He plays good Talia, but this is a couple of patches old. You know, we don't see as much Talia these days. And that's not particularly a criticism of it, because Contracts, you know, we talked about how good his Nidalee players. Anything that gives him good map mobility works very well for him. The Talia, I think, will kind of doubly so because the character is so good on roams. He's such a good team fight and team presence jungler. He's so good at shot calling for his team. If you give Contracts something like the Talia that allows him to show up in any lane at any time, I think that's a massive boon for EG. And I think it addresses some of their issues. So my worries for this draft are kind of abated. I think EG have the bot lane of their dreams. I think they've made a good adjustment for Contracts, though he was forced a little deeper in his pool than I think he wants to.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be paying attention to this top lane. I want to see Tony Top repeat his performance there. And this mid lane, because I also kind of want to see Copy repeat his performance there.
Yeah, I think Copy did a really good job last time. I think Jojo Pyun, this is going to be a difficult matchup. Again, it is ranged into melee, but unlike Sylas, Set doesn't really have a way to get in there real quick without flash. So we'll see how this goes. Set really is good when it gets to the team fighting stage, when you get to use that ultimate, when you get to break faces, as it were. So that's what I'm looking for from EG. But again, they got to get out of the early game first to do it, and I think this is a much better recipe for success on that page as well.
Yeah, I mean, so the reason why Jojo Pyun can get away with running Renekton Set mid is because he is such a good jungler, right? This is part of the secret weapon that Contracts is. Not so secret, everyone can see it. But he enables Jojo Pyun to have this wider pool because there is so much synergy between that mid-jungle duo. Contracts has done such a good job working with Jojo Pyun here in this season. Jojo Pyun's a very young player. I believe he's just 18. And seeing him work so well with Contracts says to me that Contracts, as the veteran voice here, was able to do a ton of work, kind of shaping how this duo works, shaping how they play as a unit. And that has been one of the strengths of EG this season, and I would argue the main reason that they've turned around.
Going to be looking to make another turnaround here as we get into game number 2. Cloud9 could just end it here, but this time, Contracts is on the warpath. Get out of there, Schernfire.
Alternately, EG could just drive us. Oh dear, assure you. Isles is here as well, doesn't have the range. We've got a very exciting early game. I wanted to reference something because we were talking about that mid-jungle duo. I got to speak with EG's coach, Coach Matt, during the early game, previously known as Matt Life. And I asked him about this mid-jungle duo, the jungle matchup specifically, you know, Schernfire looking really impressive. And he had a very short answer for me. He said, Contracts is looking LCS ready, and EG's mid-jungle duo is the best in the tournament.
There you have it. Strong words there, Coach Matt. I believe it, though. We've seen them look really good in previous series. Of course, we didn't really get to see that yet in game number 1. Aforementioned early game troubles, but now Contracts, off to a very standard start, is going to be able to exert his influence this game. And this is all you want if you're an EG fan. Contracts is going to get to do his thing, thank God.
I was just interested here because Mystiques did just demount, which normally means you're looking for early engage. He's remounted, okay. I thought we were about to see something crazy. Kai'Sa Val lanes do tend to engage, you know, level 2-3 once you get the Attract Repel. So maybe we see Mystiques and EG try and force something during the early game. Mystiques plays a very good route.
You do want to get out of the early game ahead. You want to stop the late game from happening here against C9. We didn't really touch on it in draft, but that is Darshan's Ornn up there. Once you hit level 14, you just have better items for your team, which can make the late game a lot scarier here for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, I mean, you do kind of have a similar dynamic to our game number 1, where I do think EG's mid-game team fights are really scary. Oh, Judge up here.
His emote game is really belies his experience. It is.
Yeah,
on point.
You know, you got to keep that APM up. Uh-oh.
Oh no, I wouldn't be thumbs up in that one, buddy.
It's cool. That's what he's saying. He was gonna back anyway.
All right, contracts
Here
is
we
here.
go. So
Oh,
this
you gotta
is,
know.
yeah, this is what they did during the regular season so much. This is the duo. This is what makes it work. Contracts backs away. Jojo Pyun too much of a wave in front of him.
Really good by copy. You see the movement from Jojo Pyun. You see the posturing to back for a good 5-10 seconds, and then suddenly, I'm gonna stay. I feel confident about this lane. Before you get suspicious, if you're copy, who played that absolutely brilliantly, able to shove in the full wave. Important to note, Jojo Pyun was able to even up that CS.
Yep,
off the back
he caught all
of
of them. It's hard. Okay, Isles looking for something here. Fire down as well. Both were standing on a ward though, so short-lived.
Sure, he's just gonna W this, right? Yep.
No!
What? Isometric viewpoint strikes again.
I think it also might have just been in that window where you're slightly invulnerable.
Ah, true.
Oh!
Contracts finds the knockback. Copy in trouble. Gets slammed in despite the flash.
My
First
God!
blood. Jojo Pyun gets it.
That was so slick! And this is what I was talking about. We didn't get to see it during game number 1, but the duo shows up. Contracts able to just dig Copy out from behind the turret and hand him to Jojo Pyun, who holds this facebreaker until the flash is burned, and then guarantees the kill using the Haymaker. Beautiful set play, wonderful gank from Contracts, and he gets the mid lane out ahead.
I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong, TJ, and I was wrong to be worried for Jojo Pyun in this lane. Apparently I'm worried for Copy. That was incredible play from the side of EG, so gonna have a little bit to make up for. Of course it was a 1v2, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Fire back at it again, TJ.
He's playing Lilia. What's he gonna do? So this is what EG normally do, although Jojo Pyun has to burn the Predator, roam up from Contracts, double facebreaker engage, Copy's just dead!
Okay, yeah, this is EG back at their prime. This is what they love to do, the chain ganks mid. They found it once again. Fire loses one Raptor, but not all of them.
birds!
Contracts gets slight revenge. Oh! That was terrifying. Fire does, however, make it out.
Well, the terrifying for you, Fire was completely... didn't even notice.
Well, I mean, you're in the blast plant. What are you going to do? You can't move.
Really, really impressive play from that mid-jungle duo, and that is, in fact, what they do. Jojo Pyun, I think, really turned that second fight kind of by themselves. I want to give them credit. Contracts was coming up, gave them the safety to go for that fight. Laid down some early damage, but Jojo Pyun does the heavy lifting.
Speaking of, looking for another engage here. There's Mystiques. Fire in a little bit
Flash
of trouble.
stun.
Will get popped with that stun. Ignite has been used as well. Fire in a 1v4 flashes over the wall. Temporary safety is found, and indeed, Sanctuary in the jungle.
Yeah, Mystiques was sitting on that re-engage from the Rel, the remount from the Pharaomancy. I was just waiting for it to come out, but he'd already blown the flash. And so Fire, despite taking some early hits, does not actually lose that much. But EG much more aggressive, stun underneath the turret.
Copy's having a rough time this game.
Jojo Pyun's really good.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a broken record here. But that last game where Contracts and Jojo Pyun just didn't get to play is absolutely the exception to the rule. So what are you looking for if you're a C9 fan? Well, you're keeping your eyes on this bottom lane, because historically, this is how C9 play. They either blow out the early game and the game's just over, period, or they struggle to win out the early game immediately. And it's all right because they have King as an insurance policy. Typically playing a scaling bot laner, he will scale into these mid-game team fights and win.
I mean, on track so far. Sure, the mid lane is a little bit of a mess right now, but bot lane is up by 14 CS, 2 full waves almost. And now, oh my god, it's Raptor Warfare. Contract steals away the babies except for one. Surenfire here to finish the job.
Yeah, Surenfire still having the lead in camps, but is definitely getting outplayed in terms of jungle presence so far.
All the Forge God finds the knock-up. There's the follow-up from Isles. Jojo Pyun finds the ultimate.
No.
Copy somehow survives. Didn't quite have enough time for Jojo Pyun's ult.
Drops the thumbs up as well. Wonderful stuff. The showstopper there was prevented by the AoE damage from Surenfire. Jojo Pyun nearly gets a kill out of a 1v4 here. Lands the Haymaker, gets the full combo. Contracts throws in some damage. It was then, ooh, Shoryu.
Surenfire's looking for it. There it goes. There's the Q. King gonna be able to find that first assist of the game. Should be able to catch up in CS as well. Or rather, return to the lead that King earlier held.
Contracts has immediately gone onto the Rift Herald here. He's calling Tony Top down there. And they're going to start that objective up by the looks of things. And they're covering for this. I really like this. They're covering for that Rift Herald play by getting more aggressive here with Jojo Pyun and Mystiques. And during this time, they're not even losing anything that they would be gaining on the bottom side because Shoryu was backed. So, really good map play from EG.
Mystiques looking for a little bit there. Surenfire not quite able to secure the craft. They're going to save that one up for Contracts. Try and get him snowballing. That's, of course, the goal here. Jojo Pyun on that set is not going to be a huge source of DPS. Will definitely put out a lot of damage, but compared to Contracts, it's almost nothing. So
you doubt our Azuma King? Okay, this is what happens in the bot lane.
Oh,
looks like
the RX
Shoryu.
lead.
Yeah, Shoryu just took a step too far forward, and King able to land a really clean combo onto him. Shoryu, I'm impressed he managed to live this long. It's a very good play with the killer instinct. I want to give a shout out to Surenfire's Swirl Seed there. It obviously missed, but it was a checkmate, right? Because if Shoryu steps back to avoid his AoE damage, he steps into the Swirl Seed and dies anyway. So, really good play.
Trouble. There's the Predator flop there from Surenfire.
Slapped.
Here comes the teleport. Showstopper into the backline. Copy forced to flash out. Surenfire still alive, but Copy isn't. Surenfire low. Here comes Isles. Here comes King. There's the cast into the backline. Contract is down. Jojo Pyun looking for more, TJ.
Mystiques on the roam up will keep Jojo Pyun alive. That is all they can achieve. Jojo Pyun very nearly was able to smash some hands together, grab Surenfire from the back of that fight and trade it even. Or sorry, trade it even again, building them an advantage. As it is a 1-for-1 trade, which keeps things dead even, 3 for 3 in the game. Gold at 17,000 both ways.
Oh, we got a breather finally. We got a few seconds of chill. I do want to point out that Darshan has made that journey into the mid lane that really pulled C9 back into this, because before then, all of the momentum was there on the side of EG. They kept making these ganks in the mid, resulting in Jojo Pyun being as terrifying as he is now.
So he's able to cleanse that with the Showstopper, which is just insane. Then off the TP, Contracts finds the backline kill. They very nearly finish off Surenfire, but he's just got a lot of move speed in these fights. The cask from Isles kills Contracts, and Jojo Pyun is like a millisecond away from getting Surenfire.
Yeah. Really close, and a lot of these fights are being played that way. A lot of these fights are being played down to the wire. It is worth noting that the points where these leads are going to come from is for C9. always going to be in the bottom lane. Yes, you have Darshan going to be able to pull out great engages, going for the chem tank as well. But that damage is always going to come from King.
Man, that was meaty. that was a big, hefty bite right there.
Almost got it. Tower a little bit too big to chew, though, for the time being.
But that's all the plates. That's literally every plate. So, sure, you just got a much-needed boost to his gold economy. Checked his savings account. He's like, oh man, this interest rate's way higher than I thought.
Maybe about even now. Copy finds the way over the wall. Fire from the side, looking for a little bit more. There's the ultimate onto Jojo Pyun. I don't know about this one.
Yeah, engage hard, and Fire will just eat the full damage combo. You don't sleep Jojo Pyun. He puts you to sleep. Mystiques for the front line. Stun will land. Fire survives, though. Jojo Pyun takes the front line. Shoryu here as well.
King in a little bit of trouble, will be able to find more damage onto the side. Showstopper is out. Shoryu looking for more, but out of mana. King looks for it, can't find it. Jojo Pyun playing defense, finally falls, but so does King. Copy looking for Shoryu, finds it. Contracts low, but it goes down to the wire as Isles gets taken out. The triple kill from Contracts and the near ace.
Jojo Pyun and Shoryu just kiting that fight down the river. And Contracts cleans it up from behind. Beautiful play in the team fight from EG despite Copy's heroic efforts. C9 lose the first major skirmish of the game.
1v1 up here in the top lane. Thought that would be a wet noodle fight, but my god, Darshan does some damage right here. Looking for more. Tony Top flashes away, has Mega Gnar available. Not going to be using it though.
Tony Top was really hoping he could just get away with leveling or with charging up the Mega Gnar. Didn't quite work out that way. So this Weaver's Wall's a little bit of a disappointment because Copy gets over it pretty much scot-free. And then you get the sleep combo, and Fire, I don't know what world you're living in here. Jojo Pyun just takes that damage and hands it back twofold. Then this fight gets messy. C9 play very, very well around denying Mystique's entry. Mystiques does find a stun, but it's in too much range for there to be any follow-up. And they notice Shuryu's just kiting through this bottom side of the fight. Jojo Pyun with the ultimate is able to play defense for him. Really, really clean play again from Jojo Pyun, but C9 chase. King goes huge with damage and kills Jojo Pyun. Copy's there to clean up Shuryu, but at this point, Contracts has just cleaned up the backside already and is saving his cooldowns to be able to guarantee these kills.
And this is what EG were looking for, right? You want to get Contracts ahead. You want to put him as that carry. That's why you're positioning Jojo Pyun on a non-damage dealer, on a frontliner, so you can get Contracts ahead. Use him for that team fight damage.
Let me be clear. You know, Jojo Pyun is not playing a control mage. He is still going to do a ton of damage right now. Ooh!
There's the dragon. Beautiful engage from Mystiques. King in a little bit of trouble. Will find his way into the back line. Stays safe. But oh my god, Shoryu finds it. Copy low. Shoryu dives in with the killer instinct now. King versus 3. Just going to farm up this wave. Try and make it out of here.
Mystiques with one of the most sexy, wonderful Magnet Storms I've ever seen. Just cleans up the entire fight. Shoryu's there, just dumping in damage. And this is EG now being able to build a pretty sizable lead in game number 2. They are going to turn that fight into the Drake, into the bottom lane turret. And all their lanes, all of their win conditions are online. They need to, in this matchup, EG need to contain King, check. And need to win the mid-jungle 2v2. Also, check. The thing C9 still have, this top lane, pay attention to Darshan. He is playing a very meaty Ornn right now, as we talked about.
Yeah, this fight, like you said, Mystiques just finds 3 people in the first Magnet Storm, immediately followed up by Jojo Pyun, who finds that massive head smasher. And by that point, it's just Copy and King left. There's no way you win that team fight from that position. So the setup and follow-up from EG was just so incredible with their engagement.
Yeah, playing the set in mid just gives them a secondary tool, right, to hard engage like this. They have 3 tanks, 3 brawlers, essentially.
Shoryu in trouble, getting caught out there by Fire and Darshan, who's now 2-0-0.
How did we end up in that map state? I kind of need a replay because there's a control ward in that bush.
Herald, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. But there's a control ward in the bush, so I guess Shurnfire must have been just sitting in wait, laying a trap. Rift Herald was picked up, as you speculated. EG were achieving that on the top side of the map, and they do now spawn it here. This should be the turret, despite Copy's best efforts. Jojopian hands him the thumbs up, and then this out.
Just a feeling with the emote game, man. Gotta love it.
It's exactly one emote, so I don't know if it's a game. It might just be a play, you know?
I mean, I think we go back into the replays at this point and we see if he's trying to do like Morse code with it. You know, really judge the quality of the emote game. It's not the quality, it's the...
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Slapped here, contracts pretty handily denied. Oh! Very well played by Shurnfire and King. They will confirm the kill, denying contracts his solo entry. And Tony Chomp suffers from this as well, having to run for his life.
I mean, sure, C9, if you keep finding that, you're going to find your way back into this game. Just finding a pick on the single most fed member of EG, who had a 3,000 gold lead. That's already closed down to just 1k.
Very well played by Shurnfire, getting the instant sleep from the Swirl Seed. This turret will fall as well. The gold lead, as you talked about, is eradicated. Where is that gold? I think that's also what matters. It's on King.
King in trouble here. There's the teleport coming in from Jojopian, who's looking for more. Tony Top finds the Stride Breaker as well. Shurnfire can't do a whole lot to save his AD carry, but a good reset there from King keeps him alive.
Jojopian was desperately hoping that Grump would show up and he could get the Facebreaker stun. Been there. Rough times. Jojopian didn't have anything to stun him off of, so there just simply weren't enough engaged tools to keep King locked down if King played it smart, which King very much did. And thus, the very terrifying Tristana in the C9 bot lane survives, finishes Essence Reaver. This is a win condition now for C9 between the Tristana and the Ornn. They have enough to turn this game.
Yeah, PD completed and Kraken for both AD carries, so they're roughly on parity at this point. So the real question is how much pressure contracts can exhibit from this point onward, because you have the Ocean Drake in 30 seconds. This is set up for a 30-minute soul here by EG if they're looking for it, if they can secure this next dragon. But C9 already on the case, already setting up for it. I think they've done a good job of zoning them off for the time being.
I want to flag Darshan's Knight's Vow.
Yeah, he's been building very supportive the last game as well. He went for the redemption, second item, so knows what he wants.
Doing enough damage this game. Here comes the Drake fight. C9 retreating forward. They can't start this Drake. They need to find some control. Copy's held them off with the culling, but it's not going to last long enough. Half HP as EG come in.
There goes the Weaver's Wall. Trap Shurnfire on the wrong side of the map. Tony goes in. Oh! There's the Ocean Drake taken away. King still firing away into the back, but now has to fight Shoryu, who's dove to the top of the fight. King still alive for the time being. Flashes to the side. Shoryu free firing into the back. Shurnfire finds Shoryu. Mystique's in trouble. Contracts versus Shurnfire for the damage dealer. Contracts goes down. Shurnfire needs to find one more for the Quadra. Mystique's last-ditch effort. Shurnfire has to go golden. No Quadra for Shurnfire, but a triple kill, and the ace will be enough for the time being.
You cannot kill Darshan. He is immortal. He's just sitting in the middle of this fight, bathing in the damage, and there is nothing they can do. C9 do lose this Drake. EG able to zone them off of it quite well. Then Tony Top finds a beautiful Megadar engage. And I think for a moment that's going to be the fight. Here he is over the top. Stride Breaker flash in. Boom. 3-man stun. Mystiques follows with the Magnet Storm. And then I look at the health bars and Darshan's just fine.
Yeah.
So Shoryu comes around the backside trying to clean things up. Doesn't have enough access to King. King and Shurnfire blow him up, and there's no carries left. Jojopian died in vain trying to scratch Darshan.
then Mystique's, to their credit, very nearly takes down
Could have done that.
It was painfully close at that point. Contract's going to try and find damage. There's the re-engage from Isles, looking for more. Jojo Bjorn into the backline, finds the Showstopper onto Copy. Copy's down already. There goes the Magnet Storm into the backline. Schernfire's looking for damage. King on the left side, trying to find as many auto attacks as possible. The triple kill for Shoryu, and C9 are routed. Contract's looking for the 1v1, but King stays alive for the time being, and now EG should be able to push Darshan out of here.
Darshan and C9 are broken immediately after their team fight win. And now they need to decide what they're doing about this Baron. King is just throwing in damage. He's got enough of them low. He gets the kill on the Mystiques. I don't know that they can do this Baron. This is disastrous. EG win the fight, waste their time. Still do have gold though. 2,000, 1,000-ish on the lead. They cannot fight Darshan. He regens HP so quickly.
He's just running between towers. I love it. Look at this man.
They're wasting so much time. If they engage onto Darshan, he will stay alive long enough. Watch my words.
Okay, Darshan, still alive for the time
being. Never mind.
Shut down. Right. You were close to looking like a genius. You were like 3 seconds off from being the best predictive caster in the world.
I think there are a few others.
I will note, Darshan did hit level 14 alongside stalling for about as many minutes.
He does
have the upgraded Kraken Slayer for King, and that is going to be so much additional damage for this AD carry.
He does completely waste their time from this team fight win, though. Here's how it started. Contracts able to find a good engage. Call the Forge God and the Sleep are both pretty much denied. A really good stasis eats both of them for Contracts. And Jojo Pyun Mystiques kind of function as this front line. You know, they have Jojo Pyun Mystiques and Tony Top just zoning. Sure, you can follow behind. What man stands against their might?
It's Darshan. I started a timer. I know we're not going to go all the way.
Watch this regen. I don't know if this replay is going to go long enough. No, it won't. But he just goes all the way back up to like full HP in 2 seconds.
He lives for at least a minute there.
Knight's Vow's stats, like pure regen and HP stats, are kind of insane for the amount of money you get, honestly.
Yeah, support items are really good on top laners. It used to be...
Which is a shame for supports.
They can't afford them, TJ.
It's just one item. Fuck.
It used to be that you'd put it on tank junglers. That'd be where you'd see a lot of these support items. This season, that sort of fell off, as did tank junglers in general. Until recently, when Udyr came back.
Yeah!
He brought it back for everyone, the tank junglers. But I really like that Darshan's builds have been incorporating these support items. They're cheap and they're very efficient.
Ooh. C9 setting up for a team fight here. And they will be fighting over this Drake. We are 30 seconds away from it.
Jojo Pyun looking for that engage. I see you there. No thumbs up just yet, so...
Jojo Pyun going 30 seconds without a thumbs up. Clearly taking this seriously.
Oh yeah.
Weaver's Wall cuts off the fight. C9 limited in their positioning.
This would be Soul.
Oh, Jojo Pyun with the hard engage. Showstopper, slam, full focus in. King still alive, but for how long? Copy fighting to the back of the fight. King resetting in the midst of it. They turn it. EG have nothing. Jojo Pyun and Shoryu are left stranded on an island, and here comes
the
King
flash from King
the back of the fight. A quadra kill. Was it the penta? Oh my lord! Just seconds short. Copy and Co for C9 will be able to lock down this Ocean Drake. Will be able to win the fight and bounce this game right back into EG's court.
This fight was just so beautiful. The entire time I was just laser focused on King. That's where all the damage comes from. And look how safe King is the entire time. Only threatened for like half a second from Jojo Pyun.
Yeah, Jojo Pyun full focus is trying to reach King and just can't get close. Tony Top as well, diving into the back line. They do not get close. Shoryu's the only player to get near. And King jumps away, resets, walks back to the front line.
That flash there, dodging away the seismic shove from Taliyah. That was the moment that saved the fight for King. Because if you lose any more members, that would have been the death of Copy and Isles, potentially. At that point, you could not deny the Ocean Soul. You'd have this exact fight again in a couple of minutes.
That we may still, because the gold is dead
True.
even. The Baron is up. As we flagged moments ago, though, feels like moments ago, it wasn't like 10 minutes ago. There is an awful lot of gold on King, and it is beginning to add up in the most terrifying of ways. Particularly, as you said, with the Ornn upgraded Kraken Slayer now in their pocket. Oh, they burn this Baron.
Oh yeah, 2 upgraded Kraken Slayers. This thing's melting half HP already. Jojo Pyun has to find an engage here.
Weaver's wall spent. Jojo Pyun to the front lines, but Isles comes around the side. Cass, Jojo Pyun into the middle of the fight. Stays
Huge
alive,
magnet
disturbingly
storm.
long. Finally falls to King as the Killer Instinct in the back from Shoryu finds one. C9 holds the middle of this fight and turned up to Shoryu. Copy manages to trade. We are 2 players left for both teams on the map.
Darshan does not want the re-engage just yet, running away as much as possible, trying to stall once again for the team. Copy looks for it, dashes just outside for the seismic shove. Contract. Oh, the flash from Darshan outside of the Everfrost. Darshan, the regen is really doing some work there. Oh my
You do not
god.
kill Darshan. He walks away. And nobody gets the Baron. Nobody wins the fight. EG do not have their soul. They cannot close this game.
That was so close. It was a beautiful engage from Shoryu and Mystiques, because Shoryu Killer Instinct into the backline, the attract repel hits King, nearly kills him right there.
Look at how long Jojo Pyun stays alive. You know, he gets casked and still gets basically full combo. Then goes down after kind of
Here's the
delivering
attract repel.
Isles into the backlines.
It was just a beautiful fight from here, and this is where Darshan, with that beautiful, massive regen, massive health.
Ring the bell. It's round 2 time. Down the side, Jojo Pyun, showstopper onto Isles again. Isles is just dead, and in the backlines is Mystique's a deep dive for EG. He will pay the price, but he separated Churnfire, and Shoryu finds a double kill, taking down Churnfire, converting on Isles, and EG should be able to get this Baron.
They're going to be rotating forward. Unfortunately, King was just pushed out of that fight. Really well done by EG. Keeping him busy. There comes the teleport in from Jojo Pyun. And this should be the Baron into the pocket of EG with the Dragon spawning in a minute 30. So they have the potential to get a lead big enough to end this slaughter fest in just a few minutes.
30 minutes in, and the gold lead is finally growing again for EG. 2,000 in the bank with Baron now in hand. The other thing you have to be paying attention to, this Baron ideally enables them, yes, to get turrets, but most importantly, I think, to convert upon the Ocean Soul. They are 1 Drake away, and it is up in 50 seconds.
They've got time to set up for this on the side of C9. If you can get the vision ahead, if you can find a way to flank, if you can, more importantly, avoid King getting executed on, if you can avoid him getting picked out, that is your key to victory for C9. You can fight into this Baron buff. You just have to be very careful about it.
C9 not interested in fighting into it from the looks of things. They're poking over the wall, trying to find entry opportunities. EG just rushing forward.
Really good from EG. Zoning them off. Here comes Darshan with the engage. Finds Call of Torch God onto 2. Isles is not in the fight yet, but Jojo Pyun is the flash away from Copy with the cleanse.
Tony!
Finds 2 into the wall, but forced to flash out of the fight. C9
Jojo
go
Pyun.
for the re-engage. Find Jojo Pyun. Shoryu in trouble. King finds him. There's Mystique.
C9!
There's the resets. King's looking for it. The triple kill so far. Darshan chasing down TJ.
Cloud9 have done it, turning the Baron fight after inhibitor turrets. And this will yet again deny EG the Ocean Soul.
Beautiful from Cloud9. There goes the Dragon as well, denying the soul from EG. Contract's in a little bit of trouble against the 2 tankiest members of C9. Here comes King, finishing it off. There's the missing multi-kill from the earlier fight.
Gold lead bounces back again. C9 pick up a turret, the Drake. And they now take a 1,000 lead as this game keeps on going.
This is so good from C9, just the ability to hang on, fight after fight after fight, because it was getting to a point where EG, remember, they had the Baron. They were a minute away from the Ocean Soul. That could have ended the game, but C9 find fight after fight to save themselves. Oh boy, Darshan.
Oh, we're engaging onto Darshan. Oh, we're blowing 2 ults onto Darshan. Tony top zoning. Darshan will die. Okay. I'm always scared when you're investing that much into a tank.
On the map.
But EG know their reset timings, bet on the fact that
really good punish
C9 can't full execute on it.
Will not find them anything except a brief reprieve across the rest of the map. They can clear out some vision, establish some of their own, but it's going to be 3 minutes for Baron, about a minute more for the next Dragon. I'm just thinking, TJ, it is so impressive that C9 have been on Soul Point for 2 Dragons now. Been on Soul Point for 12 minutes straight. And they are not cracking at all under the pressure. Do you see how confident King is? King is so confident. No mortal reminder there. Don't need it. They're never going to get that soul.
I think you have to pay attention at this point to like the Orn items, the upgrading. C9, it's starting to add up. The Orn items, the upgrading, the Tristana. Like, if you're an EG fan, this is starting to look really scary. A death by 1,000 cuts. C9 do not have this game closed out, though. They've been moments away from just a hard loss multiple times. I have to say, I do think, you know, credit to C9 for being able to punish it, but EG with that shove down the mid lane where they had the Baron and they went for the inhib. Just felt like, you know, the soul is up.
Uh-oh. Surefire wants some blood. Predator's been popped, but will not be followed up upon by Cloud9. There's another Orn upgrade. Heading over to Surefire, level 17.
There it is.
There's another. Last one.
I love the animation. My favorite part about Orn.
Yeah. Just the
playing an
casual,
MMO.
slow hammering.
Just crafting. Having a good time. Baron up soon. A minute away. C9 not interested in fighting until it does come up. Quite right of them. That does give EG control of the jungle here, and they're able to regain a little bit of that gold, but nothing too significant. So we're headed for another major team fight. You know, let's talk it through. What needs to happen? Well, it's the AD carry battle, King versus Shoryu. EG have a very tanky front line, but not if King manages to full combo them. King does enough damage to absolutely rip through, yes, even Tony Top, Jojo Pyun, and Mystique, so he must be taken down early in that fight. And I'm looking to Jojo Pyun to do that.
There goes Isles looking for the engage. Magnet Storm will not find King. King finds the shutdown, but that was all they needed.
That's it.
King finds another. EG have been routed. 3 members remaining. Contracts and Shoryu on the flank, looking for more as C9 just push.
Yeah, Contracts. We'll throw down the Weaver's Wall in the middle of the map, but it's not going to slow them down. C9, no, you can't do the Baron now. EG, there's no way you try and take the Baron now, so why aren't you in your base? C9 with the inhibitor. They're still going.
For more. Darshan finds the knock up. King goes in. Shoryu in trouble. Popped into the GA. Tony Top in trouble as well. Will not fall just yet. There's the flash from King. Finds it. Shoryu's down. Contracts left. Goes into the Zonias, but not for long. Contracts falls, and so does EG. C9 Academy get a triple kill for their AD carry and a 2-0 for their team, advancing to the semifinals.
And sending EG down to the lower bracket as C9 retain their title, the best team in Academy so far, undefeated here in the upper bracket of Proving Grounds.
That was such a legendary game from them. The thing that I always judge as most important from teams is what happens when you're behind. Because it's all well and good to be a fantastic team while you're ahead. A lot of teams can do that. It's easy to play under optimal conditions. But if you are able to, like C9 did this game, say, we're behind, where can we find plays? Where can we find that action? Where do we get advantages? And C9 every single time knew the answer, and that's why they won, and that's why they're so impressive.
And this is what I was talking about. Let's take a look back at that game and kind of trace the adjustments throughout it. Because C9 are such a smart team. You know, you have these early game fights that go against them, and so they make the adjustment. They say, okay, this is now a king game. This is now, let's just kite, set up these fights for the Tristana. And you get this team fight. This is really where the game comes back into even. This is really where the game is suddenly anyone's game. C9 are able to clean it up. King's able to clean it up, most importantly. A quadra kill. And that means by the time we get here, C9 have multiple damage threats.
Yeah, I think King getting taken down in this fight was the closest EG had to pulling back the game. That burst combo never happened again. Not once was King caught out for the rest of the game. This is the closest they got. You find the Magnet Storm, you find the Attract Repel, nobody can follow up. And yes, you get routed, but as long as King lives, this is why we highlighted him earlier before the series started. As long as he lives, C9 does too.
And this was so tragic. EG just, you know, they dig a little bit too deep. The Mines of Moria span a little too far. Tony Top finds a great combo, and I believe, but then Schernfire finds a double sleep, and it's onto Jojo Pyun and Shoryu. And those are the two players you just absolutely cannot lose on EG. They are all of your damage. And when they go down, the team fight, and indeed the game, is just over.
EG Academy off the back of that will go down to the losers bracket, but we will see them again in just a couple of days as they will fight their way back up, potentially, into the winners bracket. We've got an interview coming up, TJ. It's going to be with Schernfire, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Let's take it away.
As we head into the Verizon post-game interview, Schernfire, how are you doing? That was a little bit nerve-wracking for us to watch. Have you recovered?
I have not recovered, but likewise. What's up, guys?
I want to talk through kind of the arc of that game because it does start rough for you. Jojo Pyun and Contracts have this wonderful mid-jungle duo, and it is terrifying to deal with. How do you talk me through the decision-making process on your team as you realize that you do have a path back into this game through your bot line?
Well, I've been thinking about that game because, yeah, of course, it was a close one, and I didn't think it should be a close game. But yeah, a lot of respect for their mid-jungle. They made the game a lot harder than it should have been. And I think I left my mid on an island this game, and I think that's probably what made the game pretty hard.
I think my favorite part of that series was the reaction that happened after game number 1. EG at minute 1 just started gunning down at you and was like, no, you stay out of our Raptors, you get away.
Yeah, for sure,
Did you
yeah.
guys, was that like the expectation for you that they were going to force you off immediately and you had a B plan already in motion, or were you thinking maybe you could get away with it again?
Honestly, that's the first time that's happened to me, so props to them. But, you know, if we verse them next time, I'll find a way. So it is what it is. Props to them.
I want to talk about. I want to ask you about that game 1 as well, because you guys did just absolutely bully Contracts. He didn't get to play the video game, and this is something I've noticed a lot from your team. C9 Academy are a very well-researched team. You guys do your homework. You make a lot of really good in-game calls. How does that work structurally within the team? Is that a dedicated shot caller? What's going on there?
No, I think we are just allowed to have ideas and people are open to listening. That's all. And when we're, especially, I think, in general, when you're on a winning team, like when we win in regular season, we're not stressing about mistakes as much. We're more focused on how to like get ahead of the meta. And I think that's one of the advantages of being on a winning team. Like mid-tier team or bottom tier team, they have to constantly think about how to actually play the game properly. So I think that's probably the biggest factor of why we can be so versatile.
And you've expressed that across the season. It's been a lot of fun to watch you. You guys are now all the way through the upper bracket. There's only one other match today. It is also in the upper bracket. These are both the amateur teams, EGP
Yes.
and, of course, No Org. I was wondering maybe as we close this out, if we could get your thoughts on those two teams, the rest of the bracket ahead of you.
Well, first of all, I think I would say that I had gained a lot more respect for these amateur teams. I think half of them, I think more amateur teams beat the academy teams, and that's why we're gonna verse amateur teams in the winners finals bracket. So, yeah, I'm excited to see. Hope they put on a good show, and we'll be ready to verse them.
All right, good to hear. Thank you very much, SharonFire, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you, sir.
We're back. That was a very confident SharonFire, but a very relaxed one. He's recovered, he swears, from that game too.
I was very surprised by the vibes that we were feeling coming off of him. It's the unshakable Oceania attitude, you know? It's just like, it's fine. It's all good here.
The game one, baby. I've seen enough OPL. That kind of aggression, all the way.
Yeah.
Let's put a bow on this series, because I do want to give enough praise to EG. We saw why they were real terrifying. As we turn towards the bracket, though, they are going to be sliding down towards that lower side. And this means C9 are all the way through to your winners finals on the 22nd.
Yeah, that's going to be a really exciting one. No matter who they end up with, of course, as SharonFire pointed out, it's going to be amateur versus academy in the semifinals, and that's what I'm feeling. That's exactly what I want to see more of. I'm actually kind of sad that our last.
I'll get more specific. It is going to be either EGP or No Org versus C9, both of whom are really good teams.
Yeah.
I think that's the most exciting part of it. Like, sure, you have the Academy Amateur storyline, although I will bet those players on those two teams maybe have some slots in Academy this upcoming season. But also, this is just going to be such a good match, no matter which of the two teams makes it out of our second game today, which will also be a banger. Here's the lower bracket, as we have just dropped poor EG all the way down here.
Of course, we're going to be seeing tomorrow TSM versus Flying 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians.
We didn't see anything.
EG. Nope, not a thing. EG just gets slotted in there into the April 17th slot. So we'll get to see that in a couple of days, but it's time to focus up, TJ. We've got another series upcoming. It's No Org versus EG Prodigies, which are two teams that I have been super hyped about following that have very different stories. EG Prodigies, according to Coach Ido, I talked with him a little bit before the game, his #1 pride point in the team is that it is essentially a bunch of solo queue players that were taken out because they were fantastic in solo queue and taught how to play a professional game. Versus No Org, who are players who already know how to play professional games. These are academy stays, former LCS players, and a couple amateur players besides, but all of them have that experience. And I think that stylistic mismatch is what excites me the most about this matchup.
Yeah, it's a lot of young blood over on the EGP side that has been really impressive over the course of the season, versus No Org, who I think is a lot of players who we've known are incredibly good for so long, right? A lot of these players have been on my list of people that should be in academy teams, that should be promoted past that for a couple of years. So a lot to prove on both sides and a really good match ahead of us.
We'll get to see him prove it in just a couple minutes. No Org versus Evil Geniuses. Prodigy is coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Verizon believes everyone deserves the best. That's why we start with 5G from America's most reliable network.
Verizon 5G is next level.
Then give families plans to mix and match, so you only pay for what you need starting at $35.
You get so much more than this, a great network.
And offer the best in entertainment on select unlimited plans, like Disney+, Hulu, and ESPN+, as well as Discovery+, with a Galaxy S21 Plus 5G when you buy one. There's no reason to settle for less than the best, only from Verizon.